One of the things I always find baffling with big companies, corporate companies, and I've mentioned this many times on the show, is their inability to be able to grasp it, when things are going wrong. We saw that recently with Marks and Spencer's and the continuation of Dawn French. Clearly offended, I would say, a good 90% of the United Kingdom. But Marks and Spencer see fit, of course, to carry on utilising her in an ad campaign. Basically, we are sticking to our guns. This is what we believe in. If you don't like it, we don't care. Where else will you go? They never think, do they, that there's another option. It's the same also with the likes of the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. Time and time again they mess up, whether it be with scandal-laden presenters like Hugh Edwards or the recent debacle with the President of the United States, President Trump. Now, of course, they offended one of our senior members of the British monarchy. What I'm about to tell you just will leave you, well, slightly aghast, I'm sure. As ever, let me explain. Morning, chums. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much as ever for taking the time out to join me today, and welcome one and all brand new subscribers. It is lovely to have your company. We'll have a lovely wave on a cold day here in the United Kingdom. Hope you're toasty warm wherever you are. Do look after yourselves. It truly is important. Remember, if you've got things to take, you know what I'm saying. It's terrible, isn't it? You've got to remember the cod liver oil this time of year, your vitamin C tablet, all the things. By the time you get out, you're rattling by the door, aren't you? But it's best to look after yourself rather than pick up a cold. Have you had that thing yet also from the NHS if you live in the United Kingdom? They gave you, a list of vaccinations you could have. Oh, marvellous for that, yeah. Can't get shot of them. You try and get to see a real doctor, they're not interested, you see. No, because that might just take some time. But sticking something in your arm that they can claim for, a lot easier. It's a little bit like this particular situation that's engulfing the BBC, as you can imagine. You see, time and time again, they just keep getting it wrong. None more so recently when, on Armistice Day, where the beautiful Catherine, the Princess of Wales, was there to represent senior members of the monarchy. Naturally, an exemplary sort of performance, whether you like it or not. She was brilliant. Talking to the veterans, smiling with them, letting us in at that, Prince George is a bit obsessed with the Lancaster bombers and stuff. What boy wasn't at that age? It's just always nice to find those little gems that we find out about royal life. But throughout all of this, the BBC, online and literally on live screen, kept referring to her as Kate Middleton. Now, I've told you before, the way this works is simply this. In the algorithm, if you are referring to Catherine on the algorithm of, say, YouTube or Instagram or stuff like that, that algorithm as Kate Middleton still picks up. So that's the reason why a lot of, say, creative content creators use that tag. However, what you have to remember is it's about being respectful. And the bottom line is they are the BBC, apparently the most revered and trusted news source in the world. Now, here's where I told you this gets interesting. You see, the presenter continued to say, now nobody, and this is the same thing with the Bob Vivian or whatever he was called during the Glastonbury debacle, do you remember that? Nobody saw fit to say the correct title will be, they let it go on because the BBC, many are anti-monarchist. So I know this for a fact, right? They are very much Guardian lefty readers. The problem with that is when you've got that infiltrating your output, then that becomes problematic, right? Now, never did they think at any point to apologise, and there's been many instances where the BBC should have apologised, for instance, to the Reform leader Nigel Farage, where basically the presenter said he was inciting violence, etc. It just goes on and on. Finally, after I exposed it on this channel and contacted the BBC, they saw fit to write to the Princess of Wales. But was there an on-air apology? No. Has the presenter been ticked off? Absolutely not. Nothing at all. They were forced to do this by public demand. This took off on social media, showing their disrespect, and so consequently, and do not forget this when you get the letter for your licence fee, the BBC only decided to apologise to Catherine, the Princess of Wales, when it was by public force. Other than that, they were quite happy to let this presenter that you're paying over £150,000 a year plus for to carry on being very, very disrespectful. No word yet from Kensington Palace whether they responded, but obviously, always as ever with the BBC, too little, too late. And as ever, also, think about this, these people are on fat cat salaries, and they wonder why people don't want to pay for it anymore. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.